Welcome, everybody. I am grateful that you are here. Tonight is understanding formulations. One of the things that made me think about this is all the times I say, flip and look at the back of the bottle. What do the ingredients say? And then I'm like, wait. You guys don't have the basis of understanding that I do when I look at chemicals. And so I'd like to change that so that when you flip and look at the back of the bottle, you know what you're looking at instead of, okay, great. You said put this in Google and now it's a picture and I still don't know what that means. So we're going to try to decode a little bit of when you flip and look at the back of the bottle, what does that mean? So we are going to start with the basics, the very, very basics of when you see a chemical, what does that mean? So first, name describes shape. So when you have this really, really long word that's like 20 syllables long, that is describing the shape. So in a practical sense, it would be like me saying Chevy Trailblazer red 4-door 4-wheel drive. And then from there, you can draw a picture in your head. Same thing with chemistry. When I say isoalkyl propyl diethylamine, that draws a picture in my head. And then I have a basis of understanding of what an amine is. What's a bis amino? What is alkylamidal? All those mean something. And I'm going to give you guys hopefully a basic understanding so that when you look at it, you're like, okay, that's what this means. So name describes shape. Every like little chunk tells you one part about it. Okay. If you ever look at any of our like pamphlets or our banners or anything else, you will always see this molecule. That's because I like to throw in jokes. And when I start to get stressed out, I look at this and laugh because this molecule is called arsole. Like really, if you look up ARSOLE, arsole. Yes, and it sounds like a swear word, but it's really not. But I laugh because I'm an infant. So if you ever see this, go hee hee. Basic rules when it comes to the shape. So when you look at the shape, what does that mean? First thing, lines are bonds. That's the most important thing. You can't change the atom. The only thing you can change is the bond. So you need to know what the bonds are. No letters at a bond means it's carbon. That because chemists are lazy and we're just going to make it as easy as possible. This means that there's a carbon on this end and a carbon on this end, and there's two bonds in between those carbons. That's just what it means. Watch for the plus and the minus. So as you are looking at a molecule, chemists will put whether something is plus or minus. If there's not, that means it's neutral. Another basic rule, the more bonds it has, the more stable it is. So primary, this NH2 on the edge, that's going to be really reactive. This one that's in the middle of carbons is going to be less reactive. This nitrogen that's in the middle of 3 or more carbons, you're not touching it. So it's not the nitrogen specifically that's so reactive, it's the fact that it's on an edge. Only the stuff on the edge really does anything. Carbon calms everything down, which is why we are a carbon-based life form. So as you look at it, the more carbons you see, the more stable it's going to be. And then look at the edges. Look for oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus. And on any of these, hydrogens don't count. Hydrogens will pop off, pop back on, pop off, pop back on. Happens all the time. So just look for how many carbons it's attached to. If you see no carbons, NH3, when it has no carbons, is ammonia. One of the most reactive little things, but this nitrogen that's in the middle of all these carbons, you're not doing anything. So remember, the more bonds you see, the more stable it is. Stuff in the middle is not going to react with anything. Look for stuff on the edges. Okay. And how to tell if things are, how reactive things are. First of all, hopefully this blue stuff in the middle, you never see that in any of your ingredients. Those are the transition metals. Please steer clear of anything that has cobalt or ruthenium or yttrium. If you look at it and you see that, you put it back down, walk away. But the stuff that you will see, just know that the further up and to the right, to you guys it's probably this way, but this corner is going to be the most reactive. That's why I told you to look for nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, phosphorus. This corner, fluorine and chlorine, those are going to be really reactive. And then, like I said, hydrogen, just it's going to pop off, pop back on. It's going to come in, come out, do whatever it wants. When I said positive and negative, those have big words. Cation versus anion. Cations are positive. All you need to know is that generally hair is going to be negatively charged. So anything that's positively charged, when you look up the word and you see that it has a positive charge, that's going to be attracted to the hair. Negative charge usually means it's doing damage. That's just broad general things. And then sometimes you'll have something called a Zwitter ion. Zwitter ions mean that it's both on the same molecule. And it's a full negative and a full positive on the same molecule. A lot of amino acids are Zwitter ionic. Another thing that's Zwitter ionic is surfactants. You will have a positive charge on one side and negative charge on the other. It is a true Zwitter ion. And they, as you look at the structure, you will see that. Zwitter ions are kind of, can I say bipolar? They're kind of bipolar. They're going to go in, they're going to make a mess. They will mess up stuff that's neutral. They will mess up stuff that's positive. They will mess up stuff that's negative. They're a mess.
So would we say Zwitter ionic is a disruptive?
Yes.
Disruptive.
It is very, very disruptive. That's a good word. That's better than bipolar. But that is, thank you. Yes, it is very disruptive. Again, depending on how many bonds it is, how big it is, are they on the edge, what's going on. These are the basics so that when you look at a molecule, you can go, okay, I can see that. That makes sense. Remember always, opposites attract. Negatives will always be attracted to positives. Positives will always be attracted to negatives because they're trying to be neutral. That's just what they do. Yes, Donna.
So you said surfactants are both positive and negative.
Yep. So they mess things up.
So they're attracted to the hair, and then the negative goes in there and disrupts things like the cell membrane complex.
Very much so.
Okay. And then
go ahead.
Then when you rinse it, you add more.
Hold on, we're gonna get there.
Oh, okay.
We're skipping this. When you rinse it, you use one of the weirdest molecules there is, which is water. Yeah, water dissolves dang near everything. It will dissolve positive ions and negative ions, and it is the most abundant chemical on Earth, like anywhere. We just don't yes, Lenita.
So is that why it's the universal solvent?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, cool. You were making connections and my mind was going, that's why. Got it.
It's also the universal lubricant because that positive to negative is so strong that when you put it in between stuff, it can take a lot of pressure before it falls apart. And it's really, really weird. But when you have a disruptive molecule and you rinse it with this really freaky chemical right here, it rinses away just because water is so weird. I mean, I hate saying that, but it's kind of true. So I hope that answered your question, Donna. Yeah. We're going to go back a slide and talk about polymers. So Polymer is a word you might have heard. All it means is poly and then base. Poly means a lot, base. So there's a lot of bases. It's something that happens over and over and over again. We use polymers constantly in our work. We just don't recognize it. So if you see the word polymer, it's not fabric. It's not plastic. Here are some very common natural polymers. Cotton is a polymer. Wool is a polymer. It's the same thing over and over and over again. Cellulose, like trees, that's a polymer. Rubber, and actually we're going to get to interesting thing later. Again, it's the same base that repeats over and over and over again. And human hair. Keratin can be classified as a polymer because you'll have the same keratin over and over and over and over again. So just because you hear polymer does not mean it's a negative. It just means that there's one thing that repeats again and again. Okay. And then water, because it's so weird. But so those are some of the basics of the chemicals. Now we are going to talk about basics of shampoos. And if you want to, everything I got is from this citation. So you can go and look, double check, see what you guys can see. So actually cleaning hair, what does that really mean? So shampoo is basically soap for hair. It's a surfactant designed specifically for hair and to remove sebum, because I don't know about y'all, we're in ending summer and I had a lot of sebum that would get on my hair. Old conditioning agents, dirt, sweat, all of these things sit on our hair and we have to remove them because they weigh it down. It looks dull. It will not reflect light. And honestly, I don't know how many of y'all have ever been around a teenage boy. After a while, it smells bad. One of the things that I have been asked a lot, so with Quencher, we tell you not to shampoo after a chemical service. And one of the questions I get is, so does that mean I should never shampoo my hair again? No, we have to smell you. Please wash your hair. Obviously not to the point of damaging, but yeah, wash your hair. Okay, so here's how a surfactant works. It's kind of cool. So surfactants, again, are molecules that are different on the ends. And what they will do is they will have this head that's attracted to water, but this tail that is attracted to soil. That's what they call it. Old conditioner, sebum, dirt, sweat, whatever. And so at a low surfactant concentration, CMC is not met, so it doesn't get down past the first layer of your hair, the outer layer of your cuticle. But what will happen is these will form what's called a micelle. And a micelle just means enough of a thing that you can get the middle to act different. So obviously oils, they're going to repel water, but you can get a micelle to form around this oil and it will act different, which means it will rinse away. So emulsification, what it does is it actually gets these surfactant molecules to the oil. And there's two main ways that it happens, where it just surrounds it completely, or this one where it pulls it and it doesn't form a micelle until it's gone. And then you have some left, which means you should keep washing your hair. You can feel this. Like if you're ever watching somebody's hair and you're like, yeah, I didn't get it all. This second one is what's happening. This is low surfactant shampoo. Okay. Paula, talk to me.
What's the difference between a surfactant and a sulfate then?
Okay, that is a really good question. Okay, we're going to have to do this. Okay, we're doing this. Sulfate. I want you guys to tell me what you see. What do you guys see in a sulfate? There's some double bonds.
I'd say the double bonds. I don't know what the little dash is.
Oh, okay. I'm really glad you asked. So in
Mhm.
a chemical, it makes a huge difference where if something comes, like if you can see it, if it comes out or if it goes back. There's not a lot of difference between heroin and acetaminophen.
Mm.
It's just one little thing and whether things go out or back. Paula, what do you see? What do you think? First of all, do you see any carbon?
No.
No carbons. Remember, carbon calms everything down.
Those reactive.
So it's reactive. And what do you see on these? Hold up, let me see if I can you guys see my mouse?
Yes.
What do you see on these two oxygens on the bottom?
They're negative.
Negatives.
They're both negative charges. Remember, hair will be kind of negatively charged. So this is going to do other things other than just be attracted to hair. So when people say sulfates are dangerous, this is what they're talking about. And a sulfate by itself is vastly different than a sulfate that's attracted to a whole bunch of other carbons, which is a thing. Look at how many other, it's called a substituent, how many other substituents you see when you're actually looking at the molecule and you say, okay, because some of the lipids that are in your hair that are incredibly beneficial will have sulfate on them.
Mhm.
Are they damaging? No, they need to be there. So that's what they're talking about. Did that help, Paula? Kind of. You at
Yeah.
least now know what a sulfate is, no carbon, and by itself, there's two negatives. Lanita.
So how do you describe the name of that sulfate? What is its chemical name?
That is sulfate ion, or if you want to be really picky, a sulfate anion.
So is it SO4?
Yes, it's SO42 negative.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay.
Yep. Yes. I just have to figure out how much I can say. Yes, that's SO42 negative.
Okay, I was just trying to read it. That's all.
No, that was an excellent question. Thank you. The thing you have to be careful with of sulfates is once the concentration exceeds that of the CMC, then it will start to break down all lipids, even the small ones, and pull them off. Those of us who have really thin, fine hair, we don't have hair, we have feathers.
Yes.
Yes, that's me. Thanks a lot, great grandma. You don't have a lot of protection between your hair and your CMC. And like, not statistically, percentage wise, there's not a lot of CMC for your hair. So you will have less. People with thin, fine hair need less surfactant. Otherwise, it's going to be taking and pulling the CMC.
So
By the way,
dry it out.
I did not talk about the CMC. This is in the paper. I'm like, why are we not talking about it as stylists? So
Right.
yes, we should be talking about it as stylists because the chemists who make this stuff up are using this as their equation, as concentration of surfactant to the CMC. Okay. Lanita.
Sorry, but what is that word solubilization? What does that word mean?
How readily, how quickly, how easily it will make it water soluble. So how fast can you, high solubilization means that really quickly it will form a micelle. Did you see how fewer surfactant molecules it takes to get it to the micelle and it will wash away versus this one that requires more in order to do that. So that's just It's actually a math thing because chemists can't quit doing math and it kind of makes me angry. So it's actually a factor of how low or high the ability to make it water soluble.
So in other words, it will, if you go back to where it says solubilization, that,
Yes.
yeah. If the shampoo that we're using has a high concentration of surfactants, it's going to attack the lipid layer a lot faster because it's already done with the oils on the surface, so it goes for more.
Yes. So that's why you look at what is the surfactant. Remember what we talked about, the actual structure of it and the concentration.
Okay.
So foam, that's another thing that you will see as you look it up. In chemistry, you can trust Wikipedia. Trust me, chemists watch it because we all don't have lives. And if somebody changes something, we all change it back. We're like, no. We're not messing. I have watched my doctorate professors. They're like, I can't remember that. And they look it up on Wikipedia. So when it comes to ingredients, you can trust Wikipedia. How many of you guys have ever heard, why does shampoo foam? Do you want to know? This is
Surfactants.
Back in the 80s, it was a selling point.
It was a
Because
selling point.
One of the hair shows I went to, they literally squirted it into a jetted tub so you could see and smell all the beautiful perfume in the foam. Apple pectin.
Yeah.
My parents used that. Oh, anyway. Okay. I am going to read this. This is from this paper, and I want you guys to hear this. While the foaming capability of surfactant in the shampoo does not affect its ability to carry out its primary cleansing role. Did you catch that?
Mm-hmm.
Foam doesn't make it cleaner. This isn't doing anything. I'm not saying foam. That's okay. Doesn't mean anything. It does govern the perception of the product. So it's all in our head. Oh, it needs to foam. Like, okay, so we're foaming so that you can, and then a greater degree of lather is viewed as an indicator of good performance. Doesn't really do anything. Bethany, talk to me.
Okay, so everyone's talking about double cleanse. Like when I say everyone, I mean like in salons, like, oh, double cleanse. The first one cleanses the hair. The second one actually delivers the benefits of the shampoo. And I feel as though that's not correct, because why are we intentionally adding, extra surfactants, which I understand we need because we need to cleanse our scalp. I get that. But why is it a marketing gimmick? And
Yes.
should I stop double cleansing and stop telling my clients to double cleanse? And
If you can, okay, our fingers are so sensitive. We can tell stuff that you really have to see by a microscope. Once you teach your clients what clean hair feels like, they can tell on their own. Me, if I double washed, my hair would fall off. Courtney probably is okay because she has thick, luxurious, glorious hair, and it's like always scary when I stand by her. Like, so it depends on your client and teach them what it means.
okay, so my follow-up question to that is then I've been counseling my clients to wash like twice a week because so many like to overwash. I have some girls that go to the gym every single day and they have to shampoo their hair every single day. And it's like, okay, live your life, because to everybody, their hair is not life, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So where was I going with that? I don't remember where I was going with that.
End of the day. So teach your clients and rinsing hair will actually get rid of sweat. Thinking about it.
Full on just water.
Salt. It's magnesium chloride or sodium chloride or something. So if they're worried about sweaty hair, just rinse it. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like pretend that you've got shampoo and just kind of like lather it up, rinse it. Okay.
You're going to need a spray, like a leave-in, because rinsing it will generally get rid of any conditioner you put on there. But
okay.
Yeah, if you're worried about it, that's something you can do instead. Talk to me, Tracy.
Yeah, I want to piggyback off of what Bethany is saying. I guess it really depends on what kind of product line you're using in your salon. So I always tell my guests to shampoo twice. The reason being, first time you're lifting up the dirt and oil and grime off the hair, you're not actually cleansing. The second time you're actually cleansing the scalp. Again, it goes by feel. Some people can get away with just a simple one wash, get a nice lather, and be done. Definitely feels the feel, but for curly girls like me, hair like me, or even my thin hair girls, I have seen them come in with a week's worth of product because they haven't washed their hair. I go and shampoo their hair for the first time, no lather. I can still feel that dirt and oil on their scalp and their hair. Give it a second cleanse, and it's good. So I think it really depends on, like Camie was saying, look at the ingredients. With Intersense, you have to shampoo twice. Or with Diva Curl, you have to shampoo twice. Otherwise, you're not going to get a good cleanse. You're going to get buildup from your shampoo. You're going to get buildup from all that buildup because there's 4 factors of buildup. So we want to make sure we're removing that.
One of the things you guys have heard a lot is sulfates. Have you guys ever heard about a phosphate?
Heard of it, don't know what it is.
Okay, let me show you what a phosphate is and tell me what you guys see. Phosphate is another ingredient in surfactants. What do you see?
A lot of negatives.
There are 3 negatives. It's PO3 negatives.
If you lay that out and expose it, it will explode or catch fire.
Yes,
They
it will.
They use it in fertilizers.
Yes.
Yes.
But as a salt, you can also, this is also in shampoos. So do not assume that just because you don't see sulfate, it's okay. Look up your ingredients. If they have phosphate, that's got 3 negatives on it, which is going to be doing a whole bunch more other things. Take the time, look at the list, look it up, and use your brain.
And you said Wikipedia is good to look up ingredients.
Wikipedia is good.
Is there another resource to dive deeper?
I would stick with Wikipedia unless you guys want to sit down with somebody who can tell you what all the words mean. Remember, I don't know if you guys have heard me say this. Chemists have their own language. We spend years thinking that this is how people talk. And then when we talk normal again, like, oh yeah, you guys don't know what a substituent means. So Wikipedia is really good at getting it at normal level. Another thing that you are going to see a lot in ingredients are called quaternaries. Okay, this is a quaternary. What do you guys notice? Okay.
There's no negative.
I still struggle reading these things.
Okay, there is one of the things to watch for is there's a negative and a positive. That means these 2 are going to interact. But look how many OHs there are on the edges.
That's the poly. Oops.
Yep. Poly means multiples, and quaternium just means generally it's used in beauty products. And what it means is polyquaternium or quaternary and then a number. The number just who figured it out first? Which one was the first polyquat? Which was the second? Which was the third? And they tell you what they do. Like if you look up quaternary or polyquat in Wikipedia, it has the entire list that are currently being used and what they do. This is not a negative thing. This is one nitrogen, a chlorine, and a whole bunch of carbons and oxygens. Do you know what a whole bunch of carbons and oxygens also is? Sugar. Sugar looks kind of like this, except sugar is 5-membered rings. This is 6-membered rings. Nope, sugar 6. So there's a lot of things that have a really big name that you're like, oh no, look it up. So if you see a quaternium or quaternary, that just means it's a big molecule that somebody created to do a thing. There are going to be quaterniums in shampoo because they will do other things. They will deposit things.
But does this build up? Do polyquats build up in the hair?
No,
Interesting.
generally not. Because the thing is, can you see all the OHs? Everywhere there's an OH, that will be attracted to water. So I cannot make a blanket statement, but generally, no, polyquats don't. Look them up, see what they are. There's a huge amount out there. Donna.
In the
I need your help.
beauty school setting, we
Making
learn
sure that
about
doesn't burn.
quats for sanitation.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Isn't formaldehyde
Okay.
no. Okay.
no, formaldehyde is really small and really reactive. Quats are
Okay.
usually huge. So the things that quats do is they use them in shampoos to make them gentler because you have to use fewer surfactants in order to get the micelle.
Okay.
They can deposit conditioning agents,
Mhm.
and they're also excellent antibacterial, antifungal, antivirals.
Which is why we see them in the sanitation chapter.
Yep.
Okay.
But they do a lot of things. It's like saying that sugar is just for cookies. No,
Right.
Sugar does a lot of things. All ingredients do a lot of things. You just have to have a chemist who can look at it and say, okay, I want it to do this. And then they bubble, boil, and trouble over their cauldron. Just kidding. We don't do that.
Mhm.
But that's what they are.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to talk about conditioners. There is not going to be much. Again, this is the site. This is a citation. This is where I got this information. Please go look it up. What do conditioners do? When your hair is damaged, can you see, it doesn't show up really well, but there's some of these negatives are darker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Conditioners are generally positively charged molecules that sit on the edge of this negatively charged damage.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yep.
And they smell good and they make your fingers feel good. So when I talk about this and I say that my Stuff Quencher is not a conditioner, because
Right.
conditioners generally, oh, I messed them up. Okay, hold on. Are ionically attracted to the damage, negatively charged outer edge of the hair. So again, they're going to do this with polymers, which is just the same thing over and over, quats, oils. But the thing is, these are negatively charged. Next time you wash your hair, guess what goes away? Because you're using water and a surfactant.
Yeah,
That's going to get in between. This is going to
washes
go
away. Yeah.
Yes, it's gone. Some of the things that go in conditioners, polymers, same thing over and over and over again. Give me just a second, Donna. Oils,
I was trying to put it down.
waxes. Some waxes are water soluble. It's not all beeswax.
Right.
So look it up, see what it is. Cations, which are positively charged, attracted to negatively charged, and amino acids that have been dissolved in water. Very specific ones, but again, next time they're going to wash right off. Tracy, talk to me.
Getting back to the waxing part, beeswax specifically, can beeswax actually become water soluble?
Yes, you can mix it with other things and make it water soluble. This is what a conditioner is. A product can be said to have conditioning properties if it improves the quality of the surface to which is it applied, particularly if this improvement involves the correction or prevention of some aspects of surface damage. Quencher is not a conditioner. It is repair. Okay. Styling products. I'm so excited to get to this one. You guys are gonna crack. Anyway, this is where I got it. You might find other things, but I just wanted to share this. I found one fact that's actually true. Modern styling products
P.F. Goodrich.
were introduced by the guy who makes tires.
Seriously?
Seriously. Seriously, but if you think about it, it makes sense because he was the first one. I think it was Brill cream or something like that, some version of that, because it's a polymer. And if you think about it, tires are just polymers, and he found a polymer that wouldn't work for tires. So he's like, what can I do with this? Oh my gosh, I put it in hair and it stays slick and smooth. So
He made the first styling product. I had to tell this to my husband.
obviously it's modern because women have been using styling products since before Cleopatra.
Right.
So obviously we're not talking about alligator dung as hair product. By the way, don't use that. But Bethany,
come
your
on.
hair is so gorgeous. That's not even fair. Anyway,
Thank you.
Yes.
I use UVENI.
thank you. So gel, as we know it now, is a group of lightly linked polymers, something that goes over and over and over again, that specifically is designed so that the viscosity is high. That means like how thick it is. When you rub it together, the heat from your hands and the motion makes it less viscous. That's how you can put it on your hair. When it cools down and dries again, the viscosity goes back up. That's why gel does what it does. It's a bunch of polymers. So as you're looking at the ingredients, you're going to see polymers. You're like, okay, I know what that is. I know what that is. So that's gel. Mousse. Polymers are the main ingredients, main active ingredient. And it uses an aerosol foam to make application easier so you don't have to do it in your hands. And it's cool. And we think it's better because, you know, if you have fluff hair, then it doesn't weigh it down as much as gel. But the main ingredients are going to be polymers, the same thing over and over and over again. So as you look at the ingredients, look for the polymers, look for the aerosols and the fragrances. You found mousse. Hairspray. Polymers are the main active ingredient. They're gonna stick to the hair, they're gonna stick to each other. Low viscosity with an evaporative delivery molecule. Volatile organic compounds, VOCs. We don't use the ones that eat the ozone anymore. However, we still use things that will evaporate quickly and leave just the polymer. So as you look for the organic compounds that are gonna, alcohol is a volatile organic compound. So it doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that it will evaporate quickly and leave the polymer. Okay? Pastes, waxes, putties, whatever. The stuff guys use or people who want their hair to never move. Polymers are the main active ingredients. You guys catching something here? Like just you noticing something?
Yeah, there seems to be a pattern.
There seems to be a pattern. They use high amounts of waxes to increase the volume of the strand and increase polymer adhesion. But ultimately, it all comes down to the polymer. What is the polymer doing? Which specific polymer is it? Here are some words you might run into. Polysaccharides. That just means sugars, like literally, glucose over and over and over again. It feels like mucus when it's wet though. So if you have that, yeah, it's gross. So carbamers are another one you're going to see is a polyacrylic acid. See this thing, acrylic acid, 3 carbons, an oxygen, and an alcohol. It's just that over and over and over again. It's not plastic. This is just acrylic. And we think of that and we think nails, but you can have acrylics that are in food. It's just, this is what that means. It's a polyacrylic. Okay. Polyvinyl pyrrolidine. That's this one. You have a nitrogen that's bonded to 3 different carbons, so it's not going anywhere. 2 oxygens and a partial positive charge. So this is where it's going to react. But a whole bunch of carbons, and it's just going to do it over and over and over again. Carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. Then finally, polyvinyl acetate. You guys think of vinyl and you think of vinyl records or vinyl boots or stuff like that. polyvinyl acetate, double bonded carbon, oxygen, oxygen, carbon. And it just does it again and again.
I
So,
think it's like a plastic film. So whenever I see polyvinyl, whatever, it doesn't give me a good feeling.
so
I get suspicious of that. Is that a good instinct?
You might have had some that did not feel good. However, just because it has it, look at the concentration, how far up the list is it? Because obviously, I don't know if you guys know this, but you have a listing of most ingredient first, second, third,
Yes.
and then lower and lower. And one of the things, if you see water, they are not watering it down. Water does a reaction. Water makes things move. Water dissolves things. It's a lubricant. It does a whole bunch of things.
Mhm.
Too many people think we water it down. Okay.
So you told us to look for these things. Okay, so now we found them. What suppositions should we make?
Okay, I'm gonna look at okay, I'm gonna show you guys Wikipedia really quick so that you can see. So that this is what you're gonna see. Polyquaternium by the International Nomenclature for Cosmetics Ingredients. This is what it is. This is polyquaternium 31. That tells you what it is. It's a diethyl sulfate bound to a block of polyacrylonitrile. Okay. That just tells you what it is. Conditioners, shampoos, hair mousse, hairspray, hair dye, personal lubricant, and contact lens solutions. There's a whole bunch of things that it does. Let's see. Let's see. What have I got in my lotion? Glycerin. Okay.
Okay.
What is glycerin? It's also glycerol. Simple compound. What do you guys notice? Can you see right here? 3 alcohols, 3 carbons. Okay.
So it's pretty stable.
Pretty stable, but the edges will be a little reactive. Food industry. Humectant, solvent, sweetener, preserves food. Medical. You use it in pharmaceutical, personal care, antifreeze. Okay, this is in my favorite lotion. Does that mean it's antifreeze? No. There's a whole bunch of things that it does. So just go down and look, and yeah, it is part of your metabolic cycle. Is it safe? Very low toxicity. You can eat a whole bunch of it and you're gonna be fine. These are the things that it does. So just take a minute when, because we all have so much time. Yeah. Look at Wikipedia. If something makes you nervous, and then the most important thing, the only difference between science and screwing around is writing it down. So when you figure something out, write it down. It helps you remember it better. And then you're going to see that a lot of these ingredients pop up over and over and over again.